This is Jet with Pop Austin Media, and I got musician CYB3RTERRA in the building. How's life, man?
It's going pretty good. How about you?
Oh, man, I'm just chilling, man. Doing interviews, working, having some great guests by. Good conversations.
That's great.
So let's start from the beginning, though. Where are you from?
So I was born in Los Angeles. We moved to Austin around 1998, I believe. That was when my sister was my sister was born in 96, but we moved here like closer to 98, moving back between LA and Austin before permanently being here. My dad, he's actually from Lubbock, Texas, and then he moved out to LA shortly after high school. Him and his band, he comes from like a band background. And
What's the name of his band?
It was Shattered Tears at the time, and it was like more like 80s rock, like Motley Crue, Poison, Guns N' Roses bands.
So
like
was it like a high school band, or was it more like just like did it morph and was it from high school and then morph into something they were doing, or like how did that work?
Yeah, so he used to have like a lot of bands back in high school, and they would play bars in Lubbock and stuff like that. And then my dad went to LA to go live that rock star dream and everything like that. He met my mom out there, and he worked at like Tower Records and did a lot of like management stuff out there during the time, and then came and started working for the Tower Records that used to be down here by UT. That's no longer here anymore.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Tower Records.
A lot of stuff R.I.P.ing, man.
So a lot of my life started out in LA, but then ended up being Austin from like 98 to here on, and then moved to upstate New York for about 9 months during the COVID pandemic, and now I'm here again.
So how was life in childhood in LA? And then I guess like the transition to like LA to Texas.
So I was probably about like 5 years old by the time we moved here. So most of my memories in LA are very short. I remember like going to Disneyland and maybe being in like my grandma's apartment or something like that, but nothing.
Okay.
I mean, we always went back to like go visit and stuff like that, but I don't really have much memory other than that. Okay. And then most of my memory in life and who I am is here in Austin.
So how was like childhood? Like, I guess like you said you got how many siblings you said?
I have one sister.
So just one sister?
Yeah.
So how was like, having a sister and like all that good stuff?
So our upbringing, we're just some kids from the suburbs, really.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy. Both parents are artists in different ways. My dad's a musician. My mom, she does more like physical painting and stuff like that. And then my sister and I, we just had a really interesting relationship because like it wasn't until like I was in like 6th or 7th grade, her and I started to have like a really good relationship. I was kind of like that asshole brother that would just like, pick on your little sister, and not having a brother, it kind of treated her like a brother sometimes.
Oh yeah. Only I can mess with her. Nobody else can.
Yeah, right? Exactly. But now our relationship's so strong, and it's always been good.
Awesome. What high school did you go to?
Leander High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Way up north of Austin.
Did you were you doing anything like music wise like in high school?
Yeah. So I didn't start getting into music until I was about like 12 or 13 years old. And I was doing more like band stuff during that time, like, playing guitar, bass, drums, just picking up kind of where my dad left off, and got a lot of inspiration from him. And before that, I was into like skateboarding, BMXing. Those more of my passions before music. And then by the time I was 12 or 13, just jamming in the garage. And then I started a band with one of my childhood friends, Sebastian. And this was like like digital recording, so we would do like a lot of recording on like a 4-track cassette tape, and his aunt lived right next to him. So what we would do is record on a 4-track cassette tape, go to his aunt's house, and then transfer that cassette over to a CD, and then from a CD upload that as an MP3, and then upload that to MySpace back in the day. And then I got into like Mixcraft, GarageBand, Pro Tools, and all that stuff later on. And I just really wanted to use my voice, though. And I didn't want to just like play guitar, bass, or drums and stuff like that. I really wanted to use my voice, and I didn't feel confident at my voice to like do any like singing or screaming at the time. So by the time I was in high school, I started to learn how to rap. I felt like that's a great introductory way to start using your voice. So that's the path I took, and then just, kind of like bouncing between both worlds.
So what made you finally like do the rap? Like what made you go, okay, let me lay down something finally? Like what inspired you to do that to finally get you out of your comfort zone?
I think it was Lil Wayne. Whenever I first heard the Carter 2 or 3, actually I think it was the Carter 3 because I was in 8th or 9th grade whenever that came out. So whenever the Carter 3 came out, I was just blown away. Like I already heard rap before that and stuff like that, but it was really Lil Wayne that would like pushed me to try to exercise my voice in that way. So, and yeah, that was kind of that.
He experimented a lot, man, and like he sang to where like you could sing along with it. So it's like I don't sound bad when I sing along with it because he just like he don't care. So it's like, and it works. So okay, so like Lil Wayne, would that be your inspiration, or do you have like a mix? Because I from your music, it's like a mixed genre. It's kind of like not just, you can't really put it in one box. I would say, unless am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely correct. And how to describe my music, I would describe it as like post genre. At this point in my musical endeavors, I'd really describe that as post genre. None of my projects ever sound the same as the last one. I take a lot of influence from like people like Grimes, Bjork, Machine Girl, Soundgarden, Guns N' Roses, A$AP Rocky, Clams Casino, artists like that. I've just kind of dabbled with a little bit of everything, and then it's just kind of bring my own sound.
Okay, cool. So where did the name come from, CYB3RTERRA? Was that always your name, or did you? Everybody always had a name before. Everybody and then everybody has a name that they don't want to say. Like I went by, and I can't believe I did that.
No, I can definitely give a list of like all my names previous to CYB3RTERRA and then how I got CYB3RTERRA. So to give you both like my solo project names and also like band names that I've had before, Screaming for Mercy and Icky Fuzz were like my 2 band names that I had. And then as far as like solo music goes, before CYB3RTERRA, it was just Ziggy and Chains, and it was kind of like a play on to Alice in Chains, which is another influence in one of my favorite bands. So I went by Ziggy and Chains for like my solo stuff for a while, and then I was like, I don't know, like Ziggy's just kind of like my name. It's not what I want to represent my music, and I feel like CYB3RTERRA was more of a perfect reflection of who I am as a musician at the end of the day. And what I mean by that is that by like the internet has been like a huge part of my existence since the beginning of my life. I remember having Windows 95, 98, 2000, the dial-up days, Net Zero, and stuff.
To wait like 30 seconds for it to connect. That was a struggle.
Exactly. Or like AOL chat rooms or MySpace. That was a huge part of my childhood and stuff like that. So
are you in my top 5?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so the internet's just been a huge part of my existence, and it played a huge part into like all of my opportunities as a musician as well. I've met so many interesting people online, whether or not they're like already an established artist or if they're not. And I've had the opportunity to tour with a lot of people from the East Coast and stuff just based on the internet. Like I never met these people a day in my life, and we just met mutually through the internet. And same with like a lot of the collaborations with like bigger name artists that I've worked with before. It's all just come from the internet. So that's where the cyber part comes from. And then Terra is also kind of like a play on with like the internet, like, terabytes and stuff like that.
There we go.
And then Terra is also a fictional character from the TV show Teen Titans. And that was one of my top 3 favorite characters, other than Slade and Raven from Teen Titans. So
cool. Okay.
And my music is both a reflection of like a masculine and feminine place. So I felt like Cyber was the more masculine part of my name, and then Terra is the more feminine. So
all right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So like, who influences your style?
I would say my father first, and then just kind of like the inspirations that I listed before, like Machine Girl.
Well, I guess I'm sorry, like fashion style.
Fashion style.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'd say like the 90s grunge movement, like Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Chris Cornell, a lot of those people. I'm heavily influenced by that decade of music. I feel like the 90s and the 2010s have been like the most inspirational for both me as a musician and then how I present myself. And early ASAP Rocky too. I remember, I think it was 2011 whenever I first heard of ASAP Rocky.
Was it that Peso song?
Yeah, Peso and What's Up, and and I was like, I really like channeling with this person's energy, and same with Prince too. Prince is another one. He just had, not only was his musicianship on top, but like his style and the way he did things more than just. He was more than just a musician. He was a performer at the end of the day. So he knew how to give people like a good visual show along with it being sonically good. So
exactly,
I would throw him in there too.
Awesome. Yeah. Can't argue with any of those.
Yeah.
All right. So we need to get down to the bottom of something. Yeah. So our booking rep was telling us you got hacked like not once, not twice. Well, yeah. So twice, and then now you're on your third account.
Yeah.
Who is this? Do we know who the culprit might be? Who is this mysterious? Why would this happen? This is crazy.
You know, first.
Then this is like in what 2-day span? Not even like it's been like it's like back to back.
Oh yeah, this has been back to back, and I'm gonna blame Zuckerberg as the culprit. I think he's upset with
metaverse.
Me that I'm not using enough Sweet Baby Rays in my ribs, so. He has a personal attack against me right now, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. They've said that I've gone against community guidelines, and I'm just posting family photos of me, my fiance, and my son, and then my account gets flagged, and I don't know if somebody's intentionally trying to block me right now, or if it's Zuckerberg, or I honestly have no idea right now. But yeah, I've gone through 2 accounts within a week span. I'm on my 3rd account right now. And then I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take that one down too.
Oh man, we gotta start a petition. Let free CYB3RTERRA from Instagram.
I'm about to switch over to Twitter if this happens again. So if you guys don't see me on Instagram anymore, you know where to find me. But my Facebook's still active, but you won't find me under CYB3RTERRA there. You'll have to look me up as Ziggy Jones on there. But yeah,
man, that's just craziness though. So you don't think like, do you have an idea in the back of your head? You ain't gotta say no names. You're like, I think it's this person. This he's hating, or he, she, or whoever.
I got an idea, but I won't.
You ain't got to disclose these days, but I'm pretty sure you.
Yeah, I think I have an idea of who it might be.
It's sanity, man. Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't get hacked again, because that makes no sense.
No, not at all.
So you had an album that dropped on Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Was it called Dollhouse?
Yeah.
So I'll talk about that project, how it came about. I saw some features on there.
Yeah.
The artists you worked with, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So Dollhouse was a project that I started working on maybe like 2 or 3 months into the pandemic. I already released an EP before that called Network Era, and that was probably like a month into the pandemic. I released that, but I was already ready to work on more music because, no shows were going on or anything like that. So it was like, all I can do is really record. I'm not at work right now because they're not letting us go to work. So the only thing I could do is really work on more music. So I was just, brainstorming more ideas. And I felt like that project was more of a build up to everything that I've already done. Like if you listen to any of my previous projects, it might be like one particular sound, but and then it would switch to a different sound, but it would be honed in on one sound. So I wanted this one just to kind of be like a mesh of everything that I've already done, and just like mix, deathcore, black metal, trap, EDM, punk, post-punk, just a big assortment of genres, and just kind of like put my stamp on like the post-genre title. I just didn't want it to be, labeled as anything like that. And that's been like a year and a half working on that project, and that has like Virus and Antidote, the producer that did like a lot of stuff for like Bones and Chris Travis, XXXTentacion back in the day.
Awesome.
Space Ghost Perp, Raider Clan member, worked with ASAP Rocky.
I saw him featured on there.
So he did the production on my song.
Yeah. But I saw it has the feature, like the names on there though.
Yeah, and then Cyber and Eric North from Anti-World, and London Hudson, that's Slash's son. He played the drums on 2 of my songs. So I just wanted to really show like a diverse mix of music on there, and that's how that project came about.
Did you get to work with anybody like in studio, or is it just a lot of like
Like bouncing tracks.
Bouncing tracks.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I didn't get to spend any studio time with any of these people. It was all just like through emails.
Because, of course, of the pandemic, I know. But I just didn't know. You never know. Sometimes, like, you know, it could work out like, well, put heavy mask on and get it to work or whatever. But, yeah. I mean, that's a beautiful thing, like you said, about the internet, though. You can just do that when you need to. Why the name Dollhouse?
So that was a play on title. So you know how, like, when kids are young, they think, or, you know, whenever kids play with like a dollhouse or something like that, you know, they live in this fantasy world. Everything's perfect. There's this like happy family, blah, 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 blah. Well, I thought it would be a good play on title because none of my music is a representation of a perfect world. It's actually the complete opposite of that.
So it's like irony almost in a sense, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm correct?
Yeah, so that's where the title came into place. It's like the world is actually really fucked. And it's not as like perfect as you think it is, and that's expressed with like a lot of like the songs and song titles and the lyrics within that project. It really like displays like everything that's been going on within like the last year and a half, from like the George Floyd trials to just like, you know, depression and things like that.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any like upcoming things that you're gonna do, like any like videos or
yeah,
I guess whenever things get a little bit more easier to navigate, because you never know in this time what's going on.
Yeah. As far as like music videos go, it's finding the right director to like capture the vision that I have. I feel like I used to have one director a few years ago, great guy. His name's Ryan Schwartz. He did a music video for my band Screaming for Mercy back in the day, and great guy. But he also has a kid now, so you know I'm not trying to intrude on that, and I know he's busy and has other personal things in his life. So if I can find another videographer that can really capture the vision that I have for CYB3RTERRA, I'm definitely interested in doing some music videos here in the future.
Cool. We got a lot of people out here. I mean, they got you know, Trailer Park Studios. They do their thing. You got Envision. You got a lot of different things to look at. So I mean, it's not like you just don't have nothing. So it's just really like you said about making it mesh, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Well, we got something for you.
Oh, thank you.
Got you a merchandise pack for you to open up.
Shout out Pop Austin Media coming through with the merch. Oh shit.
So that's for somebody else, of course. I know you don't rock a small.
Hey, I'll give this to either my fiance or my son. I mean, my son's too small to wear it, but he's growing pretty quick, so I'm sure he'll be able to fit in one of these soon. But hey, custom CYB3RTERRA Pop Austin Media merch. Thank you. Shout out to, what? And the bag too? I didn't even realize it was on the bag. Oh, damn.
And then we got the,
Man, y'all are real ones.
Alien swag on there for you.
Hey, and they got the alien on there. I didn't even realize that you guys did that for me until right now. Wow. Shout out to Pop Austin Media for coming through with the merch.
Well, man,
y'all are some really good people.
I guess hopefully you don't get hacked. So I guess go ahead and say, where can we find you at?
Yeah,
on the socials.
So you can look up CYB3RTERRA still on SoundCloud and Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and all that stuff. You can still type that in and find me. If you still want to like know what I'm doing right now, you can find me on Facebook at Ziggy Jones, and then CYB3RTERRA or CYB3RTERRA.jpg. Once both of those accounts get disabled, and then my other account.
Poor guy's got 3. He's got to remember them all. That's craziness.
It sucks. And then the one I'm currently using right now, if you follow that one, then you can keep up with me once the other 2 are disabled. But the current account I'm using right now is Violescent Tears. That's VIOLESCENTTEARS. And hopefully just the regular CYB3RTERRA account or CYB3RTERRA.jpg will be disabled soon. But yeah.
Well, cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, it was good having you by. Great conversation.
Absolutely.
We're going to be keeping up, following what you're doing. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you. And, I appreciate this opportunity.
Man. Anytime. This is Jet. I'm with Pop Austin Media. And I'm
Shout out to
signing
Pop
out.
Austin Media.